Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into the world of some genuine heavy metal royalty. We're talking Judas Priest, that legendary English group, basically etched in granite since '69. Real titans carrying that old school heavy metal torch.
Absolutely. They've just proved it time and again, haven't they? Metal never dies.
Mm.
And yeah, our focus today is their 2024 album, Invincible Shield.
Right.
And the mission really is to unpack why this album, coming out, over 50 years into their career, why it's being called not just a masterpiece for metal, but like one of the best albums of the year, period, across all genres.
Which is saying something.
It really is. It's kind of a shortcut to understanding why it hit so hard and honestly how they pulled it off against all expectations.
Okay, yeah, let's get into that journey because first off, just the longevity itself it's kind of mind-boggling. Judas Priest, they're one of the very, very few metal bands, you exclude Scorpions, maybe with a 50-year recording career. But then to drop an album this good, this late, that really makes you stop and think.
It does. And what's really interesting is the arc that got them here. Because let's be honest, the band had some pretty mid periods after Painkiller, which was such a high point.
Yeah, painfully mid, some might say.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you look at the Ripper Owens era. Okay, he's a great singer, but they were trying this sort of groove, almost thrash sound. It just didn't feel like Priest. It didn't quite land right for them.
And then Rob Halford comes back, massive anticipation, right? But then we get Angel of Retribution, Nostradamus, and a lot of fans found them pretty forgettable, maybe even boring. What wasn't clicking there, do you think? How did that kind of set the stage for what came later?
That's a good point. It really felt like they were searching, trying to find that old spark, but maybe not quite getting the mix right. The songs were okay, played well, obviously, but they often lacked that signature fire,
Right.
that Priest identity.
Right.
Then the big shift happens. KK Downing leaves, Richie Faulkner comes in. And that leads to Redeemer of Souls in 2014.
Which was good.
Yeah, it was good. Definitely a step up. You could hear flashes of that old energy returning, but it wasn't quite there yet. Felt like they were getting warmer,
And then, boom, 2018, Firepower. That felt like a lightning strike for so many people. What was it about that album that made it such a huge return to form? It was just so tight, so fast, pure head-banging stuff. Everyone seemed instantly won over.
Firepower was exactly what everyone wanted.
Yeah.
It was like pure classic Priest, but with the, modern punchy production. Relentless, full of energy, just perfectly executed.
Yeah.
And honestly, the feeling was kind of like, okay, they nailed it. No way they can top that. That's got to be the peak of this late career thing.
And yet, this is where it gets really wild. With Invincible Shield, they did it. They actually topped Firepower. So if Firepower was the big return, what was the next gear they found for Invincible Shield? Was it doing certain things even better, or maybe digging into stuff they hadn't touched in years? What pushed it over the edge?
That's exactly the question, isn't it? See, Firepower was brilliant at bringing back that classic speed and aggression. But Invincible Shield, it pushes even further. It's not just repeating the past glory. It feels like they embraced a wider sound, more melody, more kind of theatricality maybe, but without losing any of that core Priest crunch.
Okay.
It's just pure, straight up, in-your-face heavy metal.
Yeah.
Doesn't really fit neatly into one subgenre. And yeah, it demands nonstop headbanging for like 50 minutes or 64 if you get the deluxe.
Wow.
And the band. They sound like 3 decades younger, easily. You could drop this album in the early 80s, their golden era, and it wouldn't sound dated at all. It's that mix, the familiar power, but with this kind of subtle evolution. That's what makes it special.
It is amazing how fresh it sounds, but also completely timeless.
Okay.
Let's dig in some tracks, because they all seem to pack a punch. The opener, Panic Attack, that feels like a perfect example of that Priest magic you mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
Starts with that proggy little intro bit, then boom, classic riff. And Halford's vocals, just immense.
And see, that's the thing about Halford. He's 73. It's not just that he can still hit the notes. It's how he uses his voice now. You get those like menacing low rumbles and then those chilling high screams. He's mastered the whole range.
Yeah.
A lot of people were saying this might be his best recorded vocal performance ever, which is insane.
Wow.
And you've got Scott Travis just pummeling you with the double kicks, Glenn Tipton, Richie Faulkner, the dueling guitars, shredding like crazy. The solo on that track, impeccable.
Yes.
Seriously among their best ever.
And the lyrics on that one are kind of surprising, almost funny, right? It's about keyboard warriors on Twitter. Halford screaming about wild, neurotic memes. Did you ever think you'd hear that? It feels kind of cheeky.
It is. It shows they're not out of touch, even doing classic metal.
Yeah, exactly. Old school doesn't mean irrelevant. And Ian Hill's bass, just rock solid as always. Great production, too. Sounds organic, but timeless.
Definitely a fun modern twist. And then you get the title track, Invincible Shield. Wow. That might be the best song on the whole album.
You think so?
I mean, it's just pure adrenaline. Perfect soundtrack for some huge battle scene in a movie, you know?
Yeah.
Everything about it is just epic. The chorus, the build-ups, the solos, just the sheer energy. It's got to be up there with their greatest songs ever.
But it's not all just flat-out speed, right? There's variety, like Crown of Horns. It's sort of a semi-ballad, power ballad maybe. Starts shreddy, then gets into these slower melodies. I gotta say, first listen, I thought it was just... okay.
Yeah, I heard that from a few people. It's a grower, that one. You listen again and again, and it blossoms, becomes this really powerful contemporary ballad. Might be one of their best in that style, actually. Maybe even a favorite for some, if you give it time.
Patience rewarded, huh?
Exactly. And the solo on that track, incredible. One of the best melodic metal solos I've heard in ages. It really shows that wider palette they're using now.
And then they hit you again. Tracks like As God Is My Witness, total blistering speed metal, feels like it could have been on Painkiller.
Oh, easily. Just tramples you. And The Serpent and the King, too. That's got this dynamic, heavy feel, really cinematic.
And they still do the mid-tempo headbangers really well. Trial by Fire. It's got that cool, kind of refreshing 3-time feel. And the riff is insanely catchy, like classic Priest riff territory.
Totally. And you've got Devil in Disguise, Gates of Hell. That one's got some hooks that sound almost power metal, which kind of shows how much Priest influenced that whole scene.
Right.
And even on the slightly slower ones, like Crown of Horns or Escape from Reality, the playing is still incredibly technical. There's a lot going on.
They close the main album with Giants in the Sky. Not really a ballad, but more contemplative. A tribute to fallen metal heroes.
Yeah, it's a really powerful moment. It's got that cool classical guitar part near the end, too.
Who do they mention?
Oh, you know, the Giants. Lemmy, Dio, Dimebag, Cliff Burton, Alexi Laiho, Jeff Hanneman, Chuck Schuldiner, lots more. It's a really poignant nod to the history of the genre.
Nice touch.
And then, if you spring for the deluxe version, the bonus track, The Launcher, don't skip that one. It's this closing cover song, and it's absolutely extraordinary. Atmospheric, catchy, melodic. It just gets better every time you hear it. Seriously, worth getting the version with all 14 songs.
So, putting it all together, what does this album really say about Judas Priest now? I feel like it just cements their relevance all over again. Nobody's phoning it in here. How does that chemistry, that skill across all 5 guys create something that connects with multiple generations of metal fans?
Well, it's that foundation, isn't it? Ian Hill's bass is always just there, solid as a rock. Scott Travis's drumming is so versatile, so dynamic. That solid rhythm section lets the guitars in Halford just fly.
Yeah.
So you get something that's instantly Priest. You know the sound, but it still feels incredibly fresh. The production's amazing. The musicianship's top-notch. Invincible Shield isn't just another album. It's got to be their best record this millennium.
Wow. Bold statement.
I think it's a serious contender for Record of the Year, honestly. And it just keeps surprising you with how good it is. It really is a testament to their legacy, uniting the old guard and the new kids under the banner of the horns.
Yeah, totally. So, final thought then. When you see a band pull off something this good this late in the game, what does Invincible Shield make you rethink about, I don't know, the limits of creativity, of longevity? Not just in music, but like in anything people are passionate about.